Hello, I'm quite excited. I've actually got my first official permission. I finally got brave enough to ask a friend if her husband would allow me on their farm. I do know a lot of people, but I also don't like asking, which is really silly, but I don't want to rely on one of my friends who lets me go there a lot, and I know my little paddock's not going to last forever. So it was just time to grow a pair and go and ask. Anyway, they very kindly said yes. They're on the top of the Wolds, the Lincolnshire Wolds, which is just beautiful. I'm going to show you some pictures in a minute. I took my permission slip from the National Council for metal detecting, and it just made me feel, I felt quite grown up. I know I'm 59 and I'm feeling grown up, it makes me laugh. But it's so lovely because they have two farms and they already had people detecting on the other farm, so they were quite used to this agreement, and it just made it look like I know what I'm doing and we both know where we are. And he had a map of the farm for me and he explained it, and equally said where the old footpath used to be, where, you know, we think there's been some Roman activity over one side, which we might get to eventually. It just depends on what they're farming, how they're farming at the time and everything. But at the minute, just have 10 acres. So exciting. And the scenery is beautiful. I must admit, going on plough for the first time has been a bit of an experience. My legs are aching like mad, but the thing is, you know what it's like, just one more, and you keep going, and then you look back and think, oh, I've got to walk all the way back to the car now. But when you're in there and you're out in the fresh air, you can see by the look on my face, I'm just having an amazing time. So I think having the National Council for metal detecting, knowing you're insured, knowing you've got a proper agreement, I know where I can go. And we've got a lovely setup on WhatsApp. I message the night before to say when I'm going, and then I send photographs afterwards, and we have a chat about what I found, and it's really lovely. So I'm going to shut up now, but I've got some interesting things to show you, and then at the end I want to show you a little video about one of my finds before that we think might have found a home. So this is my view when I'm now detecting now. How amazing, and the weather we've had as well, because it's up on the walls. It's flint with a sandy soil and chalk over chalk, so it drains really well. But it's just such a beautiful place to be, out in the fresh air. Though it's near a main road, I'm far enough away that I'm not actually listening to the cars, and all I can hear is the birds singing. But it's like everywhere. You find your cans, your aluminium, and I've dug those on purpose now. But yeah, I love a horseshoe. Cartridges obviously from shoots, but then I did found a halfpenny, 1909 halfpenny, and I love it when they go that gorgeous deep green colour and they feel so smooth. So again, just feeling, you know, who was that last person to touch that before they dropped that, and that was on where we think the old footpath is. So I'm obviously going to be going back there and doing more in that area. But this was actually today. The sun is out at the moment. It is beautiful, but you can see what I'm walking on. So apart from getting distracted by little bits of flint all the time because they're so pretty, and then looking at the scenery, I can look out to the sea, the gorse is out in bloom. Yeah, happy. But again, what did I find? Well, one of the deals is I remove the rubbish, and I will bring out rubbish with me every time. But these were quite interesting. I thought at first musket ball because one was lead, but then the other one's steel. So I'm now beginning to think it's perhaps slingshot, perhaps for rabbits, you know, for hunting rabbits. Then another cool thing I found with this weird shaped spanner, and I just think it's great. When I actually Google Lensed it, I mean, how did we cope before we had Google Lens? But it's a specialised wrench designed for servicing Ferguson tractors, specifically for fuel injectors, for the TE20, made between 1944 and 45 and 1955. So that will be going in the electrolysis tank, and we'll see if we can find it a new owner. Well, those that watch my earlier vlogs will know about the key that I found on the footpath in my own field and how I did the electrolysis on it. and now it's gone back in the tank again because we think there might be somewhere it belongs. Well, I'm parked at my local church and I've talked about the key that I found in the field, and if you remember it, it was really, really rusty and it was buried quite deep down as well. Took a bit of digging, but it's been back in the electrolysis. It's had another session and I believe that all the rust I can get off it is off now. So the reason about the church is my mum was church warden here for many, many years. Our family have been buried here, baptised here for more years than I want to think about. And there is a story that once upon a time a set of the church keys was lost. So they've asked me if I'll come today and try it and see if it fits in any of the doors. So we've got 3 doors to try and I'm really excited. Who knows, but let's have a go. So this is door number 1, but I'm going to actually try them all from the inside because I think it looks better to be trying to break out than break in, if you know what I mean. But we'll have a little walk around. I hadn't actually realised there was this many doors. Door number 2. The sound of the birds. And then the big old door in there, door number 2. I'll just say hi to Dad, who's over there in the graveyard. So behind the curtain is the first door we saw. I don't think that lock is even in existence anymore. But anyway, let's see if it would. Do you know, there is a possibility that if that wasn't rusted up, then it might work. So let's go and try the other one. So lovely and peaceful in here, it's beautiful. So, here we go. No, that doesn't feel like it would want to go any further at all, so that's a definite no. And then we'll go back round to the let's have a look at this beautiful, isn't it lovely? Look at the size of that door. And those studs, very like what I find in the field, which then does beg the question, perhaps it's from a redundant building. So is it? Ooh, wow. It fits, but it doesn't turn. Go around to the other side. No, I don't think it's the right one at all. But I am quite interested, so I'm going to go around to the car park side and just try it from the outside before I go. So I'm around the other side now. But you know, it fits in there really nicely. I have a feeling if that wasn't rusted up, that we could have found its home. So I'm going to pass it over to the church wardens and give them the option if they want to try it and get the lock unseized. But I think that's quite an exciting result.